Now we're going to do closings real quick, and then we're going to have to head out of here. Milo, you have 5 minutes, then Stephen, you have 5 minutes.
I seem to have got away with saying that I wasn't especially pro-Second Amendment in Tennessee, so I'm just going to take the win on that one. And simply tell you that I moved here with all of the usual assumptions about America. And having been here, it's sort of a difficult thing to hear, really, but America is one of those countries that you sort of, what's that old quote? America always does the right thing once it's tried everything else first. And America seems to kind of regularly need these outside observers to tell it about itself, whether it's de Tocqueville or whatever. It's not very good at self-reflection. So all I can do is offer you what I've seen, and that is that the gap between the way America describes itself and the reality here is so enormous and so gigantic and so suicidally large, actually. The way that since the 1950s and 60s, this country has diverged from its founding objectives, from its founding morality, is terrifying. And the rest of the world needs you guys to be in good shape, to be in good fighting shape, and to get it together. Because we don't have many other options. China, Russia, oblivion, right? I do still think that the world's in good shape when America's in good shape. But it hasn't been for nearly 100 years now. You haven't won a war in 75 years. Do you know that? 75 years America hasn't won a war. Things are going very, very badly wrong here, and we need you. But we need you to be strong, we need you to be healthy, we need you to be wholesome, and we need you to be moral. We need that from you. Even though you're, our child in some ways, you've grown big and you've grown strong, and you're our protector. But our protector now is writhing on the ground, diseased, shrieking, blinded, and pathetic. And we've gone outside in the rest of the world from admiring this country, from moving here because we love the idea of its values so much, to being confronted with the ugly reality that America's greatest export is now sodomy and vaccines and stuff like that. And that's not what it was supposed to be. So I would kind of encourage you to reflect on whether anybody is happier or better off, wealthier, doing better in 2023 than they were in 1953. And to say that clocks can't be turned back is just historically ignorant. It's just completely wrong. But what normally happens is they're turned back very violently. What normally happens is that they're turned back by force, and they're turned back too far, or they're turned into something ugly. And that has happened again and again and again. And the window for America to save itself is closing. It's very narrow. Maybe a generation. Maybe it's too late. But you owe it to yourselves and to the rest of us to try. And if you want to make America the best it can be, if you want to be a good athlete, you got to train. If you want to be a good writer, you have to read and write. If you want to be a good America, you got to go to church. Thank you.
I hate you, Sean. This conversation was definitely something different than what I was expecting. Actually, you know what? No, it was exactly what I was expecting. I feel like Milo is kind of the perfect showman for the Christian nationalist movement. A lot of bravado, a lot of theatrics, a lot of 1 HP voicing, but no actual actionable material anywhere, no concrete ideology to stand on, no policy positions to recommend, not even like a clear or even a vague outline of what it is he even stands for. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention because I was watching Subway Surfers on my phone for half this debate. I don't know if anybody else in here feels like they came away with a better understanding of what Christian nationalism is than before they came in. But yeah, Something that I get very frustrated about when I talk about politics, the reason why I do these conversations, the reason why I talk to people who are as far away from me as people like Milo can be, is because I think it's important to cut through a lot of the bullshit that a lot of people preach when they're trying to turn people over to their new political movements. I think that we have very real problems today, and I don't think we ever have a chance to discuss them when we're talking about how much better life would have been in the 1200s or in the 1950s. We're not getting rid of cell phones. We're not putting women back in the kitchen. We're not getting rid of birth control. The internet's not going anywhere. We're not locking down our borders. We live in a world today that is as much different from 1980 as 1980 was from the 1200s that, Milo's so obsessed with. And I think that we need better conversations with people, better policies that we can advocate for, better things that we can talk about to move our people forward, rather than having people endlessly fracture and atomize themselves in these silly little political movements that people can't even adequately define. So if you come away from here tonight, I hope that when you talk to your friends about things related to this. If you want to talk about church, talk about a church you want to go to, talk about actions that you do. The cool things about my church is that every Saturday or every Sunday or whenever you went to Mass, you got to meet a group of people, you got to socialize, you got to have a community. Sometimes you would do community events, and you would just have basically communities that you would develop around that you would do things with every week, because socializing with each other is really important. I think this is one of the things that we miss the most today, especially when we spend all of our time in front of our phones and our computers. I hope that people continue to find things in their life to build upon. Maybe in future conversations we can, or not we, but me and somebody else can talk about the different things that you can do to build upon that. And I hope you guys don't get lost down these really weird niche micro ideologies that offer you, the universe and talk about absolutely nothing.
Thank you, guys. Let's all give one big final round of applause for our debaters.
All right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.